Why did you think it was so important to talk to young girls in particular and say to them, hey, listen, you don't have to give it up?
Because, you know, when I was in high school, I didn't want to have sex. And I remember being in high school feeling like I was an alien for not wanting to have sex. Like, I wanted to hide the fact that I was a virgin. And as I got older, I realized that, wait a minute, I think I was on the right path and others were not, because my friends who were having sex ended up with children by men who were no longer in their lives. So, and then I was able to pursue my career and dreams other people that couldn't do. So I want to get that message out there so they can know that abstinence actually is cool.
Now, there's nothing wrong with abstinence, and if that's an avenue that you choose either as an adult or a young person to follow, we're all about it. But Ruthie, you say that realistically, most kids are going to have sex.
Well, the first thought was when I heard Kendra was abstinent, I thought, oh, she's married. I think sometimes the hardest part about abstinence is just pronouncing it. But it's really unrealistic to expect. I mean, I applaud your efforts for doing this, and I think realistically, theoretically, it's a good idea, but practically in the real world, it's really a tough thing.
So are you saying that every teenage girl is having sex?
No, I'm not.
Okay, then therefore that statement isn't true.
But sometimes it's a willful decision. You're saying, okay, I'm deliberately choosing not to, or sometimes circumstances intervene. You don't have anyone in your life, or your life circumstances, or you're not in the mood for that. It doesn't work for you. But
what I find interesting is that Bill has been doing this for more than 20 years.
Yeah.
And Kendra's...
Abstinence? Yeah.
Wait, it's been very long.
Sexual partner with my wife for 30 years, actually.
And that's fantastic.
Oh,
that's,
yeah, and not only that, Lynn, my wife and I were virgins, if you can believe this. My wife and I were virgins when we got married, and we waited. In fact, I actually wrote out a promise to her the night that I was engaged to her. I asked her to marry me, and we waited for a year, if you can believe it. No sexual contact, no physical contact. The first time that I kissed my wife was when the preacher said, now you may kiss your bride. So it is realistic, Ruth. It is very realistic.
Are you 90 years old?
No, I was 27.
Okay, wait, hang on a second.
So, no, it is realistic. It happens in her life and his.
Did you make out?
Absolutely not.
Little
No, we didn't
feeling?
kiss.
I mean, like,
no,
nothing?
we didn't touch. We didn't kiss. Nothing. And I wrote it out in a written commitment. So I'm with my girl here that teenagers can do it. People in their 20s and 30s can do it. There is the 40-year-old virgin.
We can't even get
It's reality. Ruth is
I can't even get my daughter to recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I mean, what happens? You say, like, I swear. I mean, where do you draw the... What do you do? What don't you do? Is there, like, a Chinese menu here? Like,
no, there's not a Chinese.
I do this to you.
We have to let these kids know, because we're making it assume, because like Lynn said in the beginning, you know, there's magazines, the television screen, you know, but the reality is when you are a sexual active teenager, there's so many things you got to deal with. You become pregnant, you get an STD, emotionally attached to a person who's not ready to be emotionally attached to you. So why don't we just let them know that, you know what, you don't have to have sex. We know all the images are out there, but that doesn't make it right.
Yeah, but you can only play basketball for so long.
No, you can play basketball. We played basketball for a year. You know, the beauty of it is now 30 years later, my kids, my 5 kids are all virgins, with the exception of the one daughter that's married.
How old are they?
And they're in their 20s, and my one daughter is 15. So they have made a commitment.
His son was on our show several years ago talking about it, and I actually said to him, aren't you a little bit nervous? I think he was about 17 at the time. Aren't you a little bit nervous to tell everybody about your private life? And he said, no, he actually embraced it. He was proud of the fact that he was a virgin. But Frank, in this day and age, do people actually kind of look at you and with a snide grin or a smirk and say, a virgin?
I would think so.
Yeah.
You know, unless you're Muslim, perhaps they value that very highly. But it's another life, another story. I just want to say one thing. You put this beautiful woman beside me on this side of the table. We're supposed to talk about abstinence and so on. Hello. I'm a single guy. I'm a divorced guy.
There's a method to my madness.
Come on, Frank, hold it together. A little sexual self-control here from Master Bill.
Well, yeah, you are a master of that. Of course, and
of course,
it's
what?
everywhere. Well,
I forgot my question at this point. I think we've all forgotten what we were here to talk about.
Yes, a lot of kids are going to say, how weird is that? You know? But I would have to say there's nothing intrinsically wrong with abstinence. I think it's a family choice, a personal choice. I think it's actually it's a good choice up to, you know, say age 18 or so, when you are able to vote and fight for our country in Afghanistan and so on. At that point, I think all calls
Bets
are off.
Well,